Hey everyone, this is Nick from MechaWarehouse here, and today I wanted to talk about a subject that comes up a lot. I get a lot of messages from people asking about becoming sponsored. So, subject for today is becoming an influencer in the GUNPLA space. Before I get too far into this, though, I do want to say if you asked me recently, like in the last week or two, try not to take this as personally directed at you. I get requests all the time. I've been thinking about making this video for a while now. I thought it'd be good to kind of share some of my thoughts about becoming an influencer in the Gunpla space, kind of the right way to do it, and how you can provide the most value to whatever shop, business, whatever that you happen to get sponsored by or that you try to get sponsored by. So we sponsor a bunch of builders right now. One of the things that I'm really proud about is sponsoring these builders, and we choose our builders that we sponsor for a few different reasons. The one that is most overlooked by a lot of businesses is that we're trying to sponsor builders that we think add something to the community. That's a very important thing to me, is that we're not just sponsoring people because they have a huge following, although that is really important to have, but it's also about trying to help build that community, because I think community is really important around this hobby. The one that isn't really as overlooked is that reach. So we sponsor builders currently on two main platforms, Instagram and YouTube. Instagram is definitely one of the places that people think of when they think of influencer marketing these days. And honestly, not to knock any people that we have with us in Instagram, at least in the scale that most builders in the Gunpla space have in terms of followings, don't really add up to that much. So a lot of those builders are, in my opinion, the ones that we sponsor, it's all about what they do for the community and kind of that cosign that we get from being involved with those people. They don't necessarily bring in huge dollars, but that's okay. That's not what it's all about. The other platform is YouTube. I think YouTube is extremely valuable. If you were going to set out and try to create some sort of channel, brand, whatever, to try to attract sponsorship and be able to provide value, a solid YouTube channel is the way to go. I've seen a lot more results from the YouTube's builders that we sponsor, and I think that's partially because of just the nature of the platform. I think people tend to get more connected to a smaller number of channels on YouTube, whereas Instagram, everybody follows tons of people, and you don't have that direct connection. So if you're thinking about getting sponsored, a couple things that I think are really important for you as you try to navigate that space. So first off, think about how big your audience actually is. I've gotten, I don't know how many requests, and people sending me a DM, private message, email saying, hey, I've got this channel, I've got this Instagram page, I would love to get sponsored. When you have 100 followers, I'm sorry, I don't care who those 100 followers are, you're probably not going to get a serious response back. And that's not to knock you or your channel or what you're trying to do, but you probably need to grow a lot more than that before you're in a position to really start courting sponsors. If I want to send you a kit that's worth, say, $40, I need to get a lot more than $40 in sales back as a result of that. And if you're only hitting 100 people, it could add up, but it depends on how engaged those people are. So that carries to the next thing is, what's your engagement like? If you're on Instagram or YouTube, if you're getting lots of comments, if you're getting lots of views don't necessarily matter. It's comments, likes to a lesser extent. I don't think likes matter anywhere near as much as comments. If you have people that are really engaged with you, people will visit and utilize your sponsors because they like you and they want to support you, and they realize that by supporting you using your code, whatever, they are helping enhance that relationship with your sponsor and giving you more opportunity to get more stuff, to help make more content, etc. So you should be thinking a lot about that engagement and how to drive engagement. I've gotten requests from pages that are basically share pages, like on Instagram, where they're just sharing other people's work. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. Sharing other people's work is great. We do that several times a day. So if you're just sharing other people's work, you're really not going to have any sort of direct connection with your viewers. I'm almost wondering personally about what that ratio is for the MechaWarehouse Instagram page, and trying to switch that up a little bit and not share quite as much customer work, or at least increase the amount of our own pictures and video that we put out. At any rate, engagement is way more valuable than just pure eyeballs on something. When somebody is connected to your brand, your channel, that is good. When they're not, it doesn't really matter as much. Now, in trying to get sponsors, I'm going to say something that may or may not be controversial. If you look at every single builder that we have sponsored so far, that MechaWarehouse has sponsored so far, not a single one of them came to me and asked to be sponsored. To really get on the map, you have to get on the map. That said, there are some hacks that I think can be valuable and can help you get the attention of a shop or a business that might be in a position to sponsor you. Anecdotally, one of the most interesting cases, we brought on a few different YouTube channels in the last several months. One of those was Funko Cop. Definitely go check out his YouTube channel. He's actually more of a collectibles guy than the GUNPLA builder, although he's got more and more of that content on his channel now. I met him down at the Old Dominion Open in Virginia earlier this year, back in, I think it was the end of February, back before everything kind of got crazy. I was down there for the show. We just struck up a conversation, exchanged information. I'm pretty sure I followed him because of it on Instagram, maybe checked out his channel briefly. Didn't really think too much of it, but had his name in the back of my mind. Probably a month or two later, I posted a video on, actually it was a live build. I've been doing live builds on the channel, on my YouTube channel. One of those first ones, he happened to share it on, I think it was Instagram, with some of his, and he told them to go over there and say that he sent them. And what blew me away was how many people showed up on the channel and commented. And to me, that showed that he had a high connection with his audience, that his audience actually cared about what he says. They take his advice and have that kind of community with him. And as a result, I decided to take a chance and try sponsoring him, and it's worked out quite well. The moral of that story is try to figure out how to provide value to whoever you want to sponsor you before you ask. And I don't say that because I'm trying to get a bunch of free value out of a bunch of people that I'll ultimately end up saying no to, because that's not a guarantee there either. But if you can demonstrate that you can command a following, that you can drive sales, that your audience is connected to the business or could be connected to the business, and show how that kind of works in a real sense rather than just talking about it, I think you're much more likely to get traction, depending on the size of the business. You go to the Nikes of the world and send them 100 people, they probably don't care. But if you're in the GUNPLA space and you send several dozen people to a comment section on a YouTube video, that might get someone's attention at the scale that they're at. So hopefully this has been valuable, but I wanted to kind of address this subject because I think so many people would love to be sponsored and don't really know how to get there. And so that's hopefully a little brief snippet. I might do some more videos on how to build your following. I think I've done pretty well with that for the business and my own personal page, so there might be some little hacks and tricks in there as well. But at any rate, thank you for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you thought of this video. Was it valuable to you? Does it answer anything for you? Or are there any other questions on this subject that you would like me to address in a future video? But once again, thank you, and see you next time.